Hello there everyone, hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst. Today we have another FIFA 20 coaching session for you. We're going to be down the lower end of the scale in FUT Champions here. We're going to be taking a look at a player that is struggling to qualify each weekend for FUT Champions, struggling to hit that 11 wins mark, so he's having to go back through rivals and get all the points through, which is obviously quite difficult to do. So there's quite a few points that we're going to go through over here and take a look at on his game and hopefully help him improve. If you are interested in coaching sessions yourself, please do check out a link in the description that will take you over to a booking page where you can go through and just book directly for a live FIFA 20 coaching session should you wish to take advantage of it. Obviously, if you guys are serious about improving at FIFA in terms of putting money onto the game for FIFA points to improve your team and whatnot, coaching can help a lot more in doing something like that. I do also have a Patreon service with a professional FIFA coach and a professional FIFA player in Zelonius and Jambu as well. So if you wanted kind of one-to-one contact with three guys who are well known in the community, who offer a very good service, there is a link to that in the description below. We do offer daily advice, we do weekly videos, there's coaching involved in that as well. So just have a little look at that, see which one takes your fancy. I'm more than happy to do that. If you do enjoy the video, please let me know by dropping a like. You can subscribe to the channel. We do upload every single day at 5 PM. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So Graham, the first point I'm going to pick up on, it isn't anything major, but it is something that at the lower end of the player base, they tend to do it, to be honest with you. It's trying to take a pass in a direction that you're not facing. You can just hear Nainggolan, his direction where he's looking is down to these two players. That's the sort of pass that we should be looking at making. What you're going to do is take an extra touch and then try and play a pass on a bit of a turn in between two opponents. It does work for you. It does come through and do it. However, you think about how many times you do that throughout the weekend league, throughout division rivals, how many times you give the ball away in key areas, in positions where you're trying to build up an attack and you keep giving it away because you're not playing the way that you are facing. It's one of the big things that, lower end FIFA players tend to do. My best advice to fix this is play the way that you are facing. Another little minor point here for you, nothing too massive, but something just to take note of, is that when you're running, up against a player, what you can do is you can hold L2 to shield the ball, or LT on Xbox to shield, get them to stick their arms out and battle with it a little bit. And also, you need to angle the stick here downwards, away from the player. One of the things that you kind of need to keep an eye on is obviously when you are running towards an opponent, if they've got, like that point, the left back was going to get shoulder to shoulder with your Dan James, you just needed to try and angle it away. And then that means that he's got to come in from behind, from the side, to try and put a tackle in. And obviously the chance of him winning the ball then is a lot less likely. But unfortunately, you angle it up, which means it's a bit more of a 50-50. And obviously the left back will win that battle. Little point here, something that a lot of people get sucked into with their fullbacks is he has a chance for a nice simple 1-2, a little pattern which a lot of people do, or he can look at running in behind down the bottom end, which is what he does with a skill move actually. Unfortunately, what you do with a fullback, you get a little bit aggressive, you get a little bit too excited. We try and tackle him when he's nowhere near you. What I suggest here is kind of just freezing, holding R2, holding L2, and basically either allowing him to play that pass into the other player to then look for the 1-2, or for him to try and take you on manually. When he comes up to, a 50-50 and then you can get a tackle in, run into him. You don't need to press the tackle button in that sort of situation. One thing that I'm going to stress throughout this video for you is for you to keep your defensive shape as a back four, because what we end up doing throughout the whole of this video is we sprint too much and we lose our team shape a lot. So let's go ahead and jump into the next point. Something very, very minor here, but just something, we're giving the ball away in cheap areas now. This is 9 minutes in that we've already given the ball away. And what we're doing is we're holding the dummy button here by holding R1, which isn't really needed in that sort of situation. We just needed to basically just take the ball into feet, assess the situation, see what's around. Instead, that holding the dummy button is just giving you the ball away. Now, one of the things that I will stress is that I want you to try and dictate the game. I want you to have the ball a little bit more. I want you to stay calm, controlled, and composed. What we seem to be doing at the minute is we're trying to go from defense to attack too quick. We're trying to get too excited. The purpose of that dummy, I'm not too sure why we wanted to do that, but it wasn't something that was needed. So your actual next point with Trossard out here is really, really good. You take the ball on, you do the heel to heel, nice little skill move. You get past the player and it all looks great until we kind of mess it up here. Everyone highlighted in that red circle, that isn't a pass on, all right? Again, you're not really facing the right way. There's no one actually there. The one that we want to look for is the pass to the left back. Unfortunately, we tried to give the ball into the box, which isn't going to work for us. There's not really a man showing for you. What you could do then is if you wanted one of the players to come towards you, you can tap R1, the right bumper, RB on Xbox, towards one of those players in the box. What they will then do is that draws them to come short towards you for them to come and show for a simple pass. That could have been an option. So you point the left analog stick down in towards the box, tap R1, and then one of the players would have came and made a run towards you. But instead you tried to play a pass, which was never going to work. Now, I don't mind you giving the ball away in that sort of area when there is a bit more of a pass on. Now, that wasn't really a pass that we should be looking at taking. So you always want to just make sure when you are playing a pass, you're not playing it into an area where, you know, there's not a man or there's a man marked, and you just want to play the way that you're facing. So again, that would have been a simple go back to the left back, rebuild, try and hopefully work the ball through and see what else arises from it. So far, I've been slating you. I'm going to give you a little bit of credit here. You play the little 1-2 with the De Bruyne. You send him on a run by tapping the L1, and then Son plays the pass into the De Bruyne, and you do go ahead and get through. All looks great so far. Well done. However, you do what a lot of players do at your level. You get tunnel visioned. At the minute, that De Bruyne, that is all you are seeing. You are not seeing that man on the edge for that Nainggolan. You could just lay that ball off to the Nainggolan and then just take the shot. Luckily enough for you, the ball does fall to him anyway, and you managed to go ahead and get a penalty, and you will took it away, which was good. But we just needed to try and assess the situation there, see what else was around, and then obviously lay the ball off. One of the ways that I recommend people to do that is this isn't going to happen overnight, okay? You're not going to do this every single time you get into the situation. But when you get into a chance where you would normally shoot, try and have a quick scan of the box, see if there was another pass on. Hopefully, if you do see that another pass on, you will instantly click the pass button and lay the ball off. If you do take the shot in the next few games, that's fine. That's not a problem. All I need you to do is once you've took the shot is have a look at what other players were around, what were on, and then gradually over time, what will happen, instead of taking that shot in that situation, you will lay the ball off. Now, taking the shot there wasn't necessarily a bad idea, but it was just that there was a lot of players. It was compact. There was a lot of blocked players, you know, a lot of players that were going to put a block in. We just want to try and increase that percentage of you getting the shot off there. You did really, really well to get into the chance. A lovely little, you know, run from De Bruyne from the middle. One thing that I really like people to do. So that was good stuff. Just maybe a little bit more composure inside the box. So one of the things that I'm going to touch on now for you, which is very common in your game, you press the tackle button way too much. I only want you to press the tackle button when you are 95% sure that you are going to win the ball. The reason for this is every time you press the tackle button, you take that player out of the game for half a second or so, all right? Which has a knock-on effect, a knock-on effect, a knock-on effect to your team shape, to where the player should be, to any gaps that may appear, and so on. We're pressing tackle and hoping for the best, and it's just leaving you open at the back, leaving the opportunity for the defender, for the attacker to come through, put a little bit of pressure on, and obviously try and find the ball in the back of the net. So I just need us, any chance that you want to tackle, don't press tackle, stand up, hold your ground. Essentially, you want to keep your defenders in between the goal and the attackers. They will run into you, they will show for you. If they do a skill move and you know the ball is there to be taken, then you can step in. But at the minute, we're aimlessly pressing that tackle button to just try and hope that something will happen from it, and it doesn't. Just a nice little bit of praise again here. You actually do a really, really good goal. You find the ball out to Trossard. A nice little jab back just because you haven't really got much space on there. You find the ball into De Bruyne, burst of pace with a little bit of sprint, and he finds the back of the net. Good stuff. Our next point now is a very, very common thing that people do, if I'm honest with you, and that's going to be when you get into a chance, when the opponent gets into a chance for a simple 1-2 in between your centre-backs. So let's take a look at it. What happens? You come through, the Van Dijk, you can just see the 1-2 situation is now arising. You get very excited with the Van Dijk and you go and dive forward. Think about if he lays a 1-2, where is that Zaha going to make the run in? He's going to make that run in behind. All you need to do with the Van Dijk is essentially hold your ground and cover that little bit of space highlighted here in the box. What you can then do is, once you've done that, is you can switch to the left centre back. He can put the pressure on who is soon to be the ball holder. Instead, you drag him out of position, you go from a back four to a back three, he finds a space, and what happens from that? He finds the back of the net. So essentially, hold R2, hold L2, sprint and jockey. Hold your ground there. You can stay fairly tight to the guy that's currently on the ball. Then when he lays that ball off, you can pull the Van Dijk back ever so slightly to track that runner from the 1-2, and then you can switch to the left centre-back, who can then put that little bit of pressure on the ball holder. Again, not aimlessly pressing the tackle button here, though. That is the key. The idea is that you want to keep that back four in a back four instead of dragging them out and leaving a gaping hole in behind your defence. So just another little point here. You had a pass on here to the right back that you could have played. We tried that dummy again. I'm not too sure what the purpose is, but this is what I'm talking about. At the minute, your back four is a back four. Looks great, doesn't it? Happy with that. What happens in a second? You're going to go say to this Van Dijk, do you fancy taking a run to the shops, mate? Because this is where we're going to be going. You drag this Van Dijk massively out of position. You know what that means? It means now that your CDM is going to drop back to try and cover that little bit of space that he has left behind. And what does that then do? It brings you into a back four again, but instead now your CDM is out of position and he leaves a little gap there. It doesn't actually do anything for you in that particular build-up, but all I'm thinking about is that if I saw more and more games for you, this is probably going to be a recurring pattern. You're going to do this on a regular basis, which is in turn going to lead to you conceding more goals. So we're going to go for a switch to the ball now, which you can do. I've got no issues with you doing that. However, you just need to take calm. You need to stay composed. The passing lane, look at it. I talk about this a lot. The passing lane is kind of covered. You can just see that the man is there. If you take a touch here and then lay that ball off, you may find the runner down the line, but instead you rush it. You give away the ball. You do win the ball back, which was very good. However, I just want you to be calm there. The guy wasn't putting pressure on you. There was no need for you to go and, try and play that ball as quick as you can. And then we do take a bit of a snapshot with the De Bruyne, but it's what it is. Moving on to the next point now for us then. He does just get down the line with the Mane. He manages to find the little pass into the striker here. What you don't do is you don't hold R2 and L2 and stand your ground in this box here. Again, trying to keep yourself in between the ball holder, the next pass and the goal. Instead, you go ahead and dive in. You aren't holding jockey enough in defence. You're just holding sprint. You're running around a bit like a headless chicken. The sprint and the jockey button together, the R2 and the L2, is what you want to predominantly be holding in and around the box. What it does is it makes your guys bigger, it covers more ground, and it just means that you are efficient there. Again, all we needed to do in that sort of chance was keep the Van Dijk in that position. You don't need to try and dive in to try and predict the pass, because what happens if you get it wrong? He still finds the man and then he puts the ball into the back of the net, which he does. So a little bit all over the place at the minute in terms of our defending. So another little point here, nothing too major for you though. You do a drag back and you beat the man, which was great. I think what you do is you double tap the sprint button or you flick the right analog stick, which basically means Trossard takes a heavy touch. We don't need to do that here. We just, again, being calm. We don't need to sprint as much. You haven't really got, you just need to be calm with it basically. You don't need to make it so eager to try and run up that other end to try and obviously find a little bit of space and so on. So you manage to get into another little chance here from the guy scoring. You come bring the ball through and you're actually going to grab a goal back now, which again was good stuff. Being a little bit more composed with it here, finding that man across, which was quality stuff indeed, which makes it 3-3 just on the stroke of half time, which was good. Now over here with the right back, you get a very good tackle in. Was happy with that. You then lay the ball off and you find your way out. Just look here how more composed you are. You find the ball, you build it slowly. However you mess it up, you've got to pass on to the left back here. You've just done really well in building yourself out. What are you going to do though? You're going to drag back, because people tell you to drag back a lot. You're going to do a drag back, but you drag back into trouble. Lay the ball off to the left back there. We don't need to rush that. We can be calm and composed and carry on doing what you're doing. You did really well there, but then you just drag back into trouble. Diving forward now with the Alexander-Arnold. Again, just stop sprinting. We don't need to sprint as much. Be calm and composed. Try and keep that team shape, which we did originally, but then we pull that Van Dijk out of position. You can just see there, he's pressed the tackle button. He's miles out. We really didn't want to be doing that, if I'm honest with you. And then again, what you want to do here is you just want to stand up. We just want to hold R2. We just want to hold L2. And we want to just keep the Azpilicueta in and around this area, keeping yourself in front of the goal and in between the ball holder, creating a little bit of a sandwich. Instead, you try and predict where he goes. You get it wrong and he finds the back of the net, which is very frustrating for you. This game has been a little bit like a yo-yo. I'm not going to be honest with you. It's been up and down all the time. Obviously, a lot of goals scored, a lot of goals conceded. And you're going to lay the ball off now and you're going to come back and grab a goal. The lovely little finish with De Bruyne to make that 4-4, which all looks good, but there's a lot of goals conceded, a lot of goals scored as well, though, which has been quite fun, if I'm honest. Last little chance now for us to kind of go through and dissect. You play the ball into Son. This should be a simple ground pass, okay? Just a normal X pass. You try and play a triangle pass through ball. There is a defender in the way. You only want to play a through ball when you are running onto the ball with space to run into and a defender isn't there for you to do it. Instead, you try and play that pass. It doesn't really work out for you, and unfortunately, you're going to give the ball away from it, which was a little bit frustrating. But just a simple ground pass there would have done absolute bits for you, because it's just playing it into feet, nice and simple. So then, that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope the student has enjoyed as well. What I would like to see a little bit more is for us not to hold the sprint button as much, just get a little bit more control of the ball. Just, you can let go of the sprint button in and around the midfield. You only want to hold the sprint button in an attack when you've got space to run into, ideally. You haven't got a defender around, or you've got that a couple of yards to kind of break away. In and around the box, I want us to hold the jockey button a lot more, and also play the way that you're facing, pass the way that you are facing. We're trying to play these passes in and around ways that we're not facing. We just keep giving the ball away because of it as well. If we can do that and increase our pass accuracy to 90%, it just means that you have a lot more control of the game, a lot more possession, makes it harder for the opponent to score if they don't have the ball, and you aren't giving the ball away in silly little areas. And mainly in defense, I need the team shape to be there. Think about the team shape in real life. Don't know what football team you support, but just imagine that, if one of your centre backs at your team was defending the way we were defending there, you'd be very frustrated with them, and they'd probably get a few words. Think of it yourself as well. Other than that, it was an enjoyable game. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like on the video. Thank you all very much for your support recently. As I said, you can subscribe to the channel, and if you are interested in coaching sessions, please do let me know. I'm more than happy to help in any way, shape or form. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.